Hello, Control Alt listeners, and welcome to another exciting episode of Control Alt Listen. Today, I'm honored and privileged to be speaking to Tsepa, our Sales VP for Africa. Tsepa, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Suren, and welcome to South Africa, by the way.
So, as we are in international sales, Africa is a really important element for us in our sales engine and in the region. So, Tsepa, can you tell us a little bit about how the IT landscape in Africa, in South Africa in particular, has been changing over the period of time?
Yeah, it's been changing quite a bit, to be honest, and it's fairly significant in the sense that many of our customers are starting to embrace and look at opportunities of adopting cloud, for example, and AI technologies and capabilities. Why is this important for them? It's because they're in a position to actually take advantage of the opportunities that cloud presents, as well as AI capability to make them a lot more competitive. And they are also interested in looking at how they can actually transform their organization to gain more efficiencies. And in this regard, we're seeing a greater part around this transformation from a digitization standpoint taking place, whether you're talking about it in the context of telecommunications, financial services from a banking perspective, or transportation. There's a greater part of these discussions that are taking place with customers who are looking to transform their businesses. That's where we really see massive changes for us.
Yeah, that's really interesting for me because, I always said being a South African, South Africans are very resilient in nature in terms of being adaptable, in terms of how they do things. Can you tell me a little bit of how you see progress in positioning cloud and AI is moving in South Africa?
Yeah. Interestingly for us, I think the key part around the fact that cloud is going to affect all of us. It's going to be significantly transformational, and there's a greater part around what we call knowledge acquisition. All of us are going to, in some form or shape, embrace or understand how AI in particular is going to affect our lives. So what we're doing from an OpenText's perspective is we're starting to talk to our customers and work with our customers in really understanding possible use cases of cloud in their environments and how cloud can actually be leveraged by them in order to ensure that they can gain the efficiencies that I referred to earlier. The second thing that we're doing is that we are also starting to talk to our customers, particularly around those that are interested in transforming into cloud, looking at how we can develop with them jointly strong business cases that can withstand scrutiny in terms of justifying the investment. Because for us in South Africa, in particular in Africa, it is a significant cost, right? We have the benefit, fortunately now, of having two of the largest hyperscalers in South Africa being Google, AWS, as well as actually Microsoft Azure. They've got presence in here. So we are no longer having restrictions or challenges where customers are finding it difficult to transform or to move into cloud has been the case. So this is one of the aspects where we're seeing some significant benefit. And lastly, I think when we talk to our customers and primarily in the main, in particular around AI, they want to leverage their own data and actually beginning to get insights around what they can do around that. This is where the use cases become more important for us.
Great. Now I'm going to ask you a really, really interesting question. Being a veteran in the IT industry in South Africa, if you took your OpenText hat off, how have you seen the country as a whole adopting technology in amongst the challenges that you have naturally on the ground?
Yeah. Look, South Africa, we're always faced with challenges and big challenges for that matter. You'll be aware that power generation has been a big challenge. Though in the last couple of days, we've seen no load shedding in the main, which is a terminology that most people in the world may not understand, right? And secondly, what we're seeing is that there's a lot more collaboration taking place between government, between the private sector in terms of business, as well as between the technology providers, the large OEMs like ourselves. We're sitting in a room, we're coming up with ideas around how to solve these challenges and these big issues. Around power generation, for an example, as I've made it possible. Around healthcare services, how we can better ensure that the healthcare services are provisioned and delivered to customers. Around issues of actually making services available to citizens. So, for example, you asked me not to put my OpenText's head off, which is very difficult. I'll give you one example, which is around the fact that we are currently involved in a large project where we are assisting government with identity documentation of citizens of the country, right? At the core of that digital transformation process is OpenText technology that underpins that and makes it that enables it to deliver this particular kind of services. So today, a citizen can turn up at, for example, at a bank to apply for an ID book or to apply for the travel documents, all of these things, because that data is now becoming available and it's been delivered in a digitally transformed manner, if I may use that word.
Yeah, I must say, coming back to South Africa after a while, entering the country, you can see that the change is there. There was a much more seamless process in terms of accepting visitors into the country as well as citizens. So, I can see from the time that I left 8 years ago that things are certainly moving along from a digital perspective and from a technology perspective.
Correct.
I know you have the Africa Summit coming up in September. Is there any sneak peek that you could give our audience some insight into what they can expect at the Africa Summit?
Thank you for asking that question. We are quite excited about the summit. This will be probably the third summit that we're hosting, certainly in my time being at OpenText's, and we're looking forward to making it a larger event than we've had before in many, many, many years. We're looking, of course, with the fact that we now have our Heritage Microfocus team well embedded, part of the team now. We're one OpenText organization. We're looking to attract approximately more than 700 delegates, and many of those we're targeting are key customers, and we believe there's great excitement from our customers who are actually keen and interested in becoming part of this event. The second thing that we're looking for is you're going to see a greater part of the technologies from an OpenText perspective being showcased at the event. You're going to see how AI on top of content technology is delivered. You're going to see some of our AI capability in our testing solutions, for example. You're going to see a greater part of these technologies working together and now formulated and integrated together in this regard. The second thing that you're probably going to see is that you're going to see a greater part of customer testimonials about how they are leveraging our technology to gain efficiencies within the organization. This is part where we're quite proud because our customers look for this event to actually partner and to look for new ideas in terms of how they can actually improve and do better in terms of their deployment of technology in their environments. And then lastly, of course, we want it to be fun and exciting. So we're going to have it as a sneak peek. We're going to have it at a track. There's going to be some rubber on the road on a track at Kyalami. So this is quite exciting for me, and I look forward to this event, and we're hopefully going to make it a significantly big event.
Yeah, someone who's really passionate about motorsport, I'm really looking forward to your event.
For sure. I knew that. That would be the case.
Tsepa, thank you very much for your time. I really appreciate you taking the time to chat to me. It's certainly been insightful for me, and we're looking forward to having more conversations with you.
Only a pleasure. Thank you, Suren.
Thank you, audience. I hope you found this as insightful as I did, and look forward to another episode of Control Alt Listen. Thank you.